The maritime industry is key to the Nigerian economy, owing to the fact that as an oil-producing and exporting country as well as a consumer nation, the market is a large market for foreign goods with its huge population. To this end, the maritime sector holds the key to the nation's growth and development. Nigeria's strategic location in Africa also puts her at an advantage of becoming the hub of shipping activities in Africa. Welcome, I'm glad to have you join us on today's edition of Maritime Update, where we bring to you every week activities in the maritime industry. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Statistics show that Nigeria pays over $2 billion in freight each year to foreign ship owners, either to export oil or to import finished goods. Presently, Nigeria derives no benefit from the freight incurred. A substantial amount of foreign exchange is being lost to foreign shipping operators and owners. From available records, the value of vessels engaged in the three areas of Nigeria's shipping business, namely offshore rigs and support vessels, coastal cabotage trade, and import and export trade, amount to over 20 billion naira. The consensus is that if Nigeria can gain a foothold in its shipping industry, the potential will be enormous. If shipping activities are properly harnessed, shipping will be ranked next to oil in foreign exchange earnings, if not overtake it. As oil is a wasting asset, but shipping is eternally relevant. In this episode, we will be focusing on the challenges of the Nigerian maritime sector and profiling solutions on how we can compete with other maritime nations. First, let's look at the issues and developments that made news in the sector. Stay with us. ECOWAS meets Shippers Council over low trade in West African region. Prince Shitu tasked federal government on policies, infrastructure to tackle export challenges. Comptroller General strike force complementing resident officers. Welcome to Maritime News, and now to the main stories. The ECOWAS Monitoring Task Force on implementation of ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme, ETLS, met with the Nigerian Shippers Council to deliberate on the low trade in the West African region. The delegation, which was led by the spokesperson Nwagu Julius, disclosed that the task force, which was set up by the ECOWAS head of states, arising from the realization that the ECOWAS region has made some progress in terms of political integration in the region, while other regions have made progress in terms of trade, which has revolved their inter-regional trade to about 45%, while the West African inter-regional trade stands at 10 and 12%. According to him, the task force has been going on advocacy visits to all the 15 neighboring countries since 2017. Responding, the Executive Secretary and CEO of the Nigerian Shippers Council, Hassan Bello, said that the council has been statutorily empowered to ensure that the condition of liberal trade is carried out, especially in Nigeria, to remove all barriers affecting trade, and that the council is protecting the interests of shippers in their trade and the private sector to move the economy forward. He also noted that Nigeria has been able to standardize the issue of infrastructure and that the council is conversing for common laws on the issue of adjudication in the area of conflict resolution. The immediate past national president of the Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents, ANALCA, has urged the federal government to put in place policies and facilities that will encourage export and remove the increased level of import, which will in turn ensure economic growth. Maritime Update crew was in his office in Lagos and brings you these details.
In Nigeria today, government they dictate the tune by their policies. Do you know why our export growth is very slow? Because we don't have those facilities that will make us compete abroad. You must have heard about our exports that are either destroyed, detained, returned from abroad. because we don't have the standards. Yes, we have standard organization. Yes, they are struggling to meet up on how to make standard. But why are we not talking of preservation? Why is Nestria in charge of environment are not thinking, what do we do to help farmers to preserve their products to be able to meet with standard? Give the investors, individual investors, give them free duty to bring in these items. Let the Bank of Industry guarantee the payment for that. What we do in Nigeria is not manufactured marine vehicle. We are assembling parts made elsewhere. Why don't we make the parts? In a vehicle, there are more than 2,000 parts in a vehicle. That is 2,000 factories. Make it times 2 for competition. Do you know what they call 4,000 factories?
The Nigerian Customs Service has said that the introduction of the Controller General of Customs (CGC) strike force in cargo clearance at the ports is an effort intended to complement the efforts of the resident officers. The Public Relations Officer PRO of Tinkan Island Port Command of the service, Uche Ejesieme, has debunked insinuations that the introduction of the strike force as a part of cargo examination is a tactical vote of no confidence on resident officers is an erroneous impression. He also noted that the essence of bringing the strike force at the port is to ensure strict checks and balances, adding that it is very important that the service keeps to other mandatory functions, stressing that the move is also intended to block any form of revenue leakages, adding that those statutory functions of the service, like revenue collection of legitimate trade and stopping smuggling, amongst others, are well harmonized. And that's Maritime News. Maritime updates continue shortly. Stay with us.
Welcome to Port Support Services, otherwise called the PSSP. This is an initiative of the Nigerian Shippers Council created to serve the public better. To help you navigate the portal, first log on to the website at www.pssp.ng for every information about the PSSP, which includes information and project standards operating procedure of the partners of the PSSP and frequently asked questions or contact information with the PSSP of Nigeria Shippers Council. Members of the public will be able to make complaints using the complaint form, track the status of their complaint, make inquiries, or give us a feedback using the contact form. The following are steps to submit a complaint. Open your web browser and type www.pssp.ng, which will take you to the home page. Click on the Make a Complaint. The login page takes you to the registration portal, which is mandatory for you to submit a complaint. If it's your first time of submitting a complaint, click on either the register or the button on the registration link. To register, you will need to supply your email address, display name, and password. After completing these fields, you should click on the register button. If you have previously created an account, simply log in by supplying your email address and password. After you have successfully logged in, you should see your complaint form. The system assumes you are the main complaint. The complaint form has 5 sections with the following details: service provider details, event or service description, other details, complaint description. In other and in addition, you will find a yes and no button, and this is how it works. Using the yes or no button, indicate if you're complaining on behalf of a company. If you're complaining on behalf of someone, you will have to give us other details by clicking on the Add Detail button, then click the Next button. From the pop-up list, select the type of company your complaint is about from the agency list and select the company from the company list.
Welcome back. If you have just joined us, this is Maritime Updates reaching you courtesy of the Nigerian Shippers Council. For details, please reach the Nigerian Shippers Council on our email, website, or better still, text the number showing on your screen. Now to the guest of the week. He is Prince Shitu Olayiwola, immediate past national president of the Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents. In this chart, takes us memory lane on the sector's challenges, professionalism in the freight forwarding business, the way forward, and many more. Stay with us. We are faced with congestion crisis, holding bays and infrastructural issues, and many more. How can we best resolve these issues to ensure that the maritime industry is in the path of growth?
We're coming back to where we started long time ago. And we're just a victim of lack of planning, a victim of short-term measures, a victim of being under the control of those who would rather want to think of themselves, but not the nation in future. Most of those countries we warm up to and use as example abroad, you go into their history, people identify with the future of their country. And when somebody is put in place to do anything or do any service, he thinks of what will it be 50 years' time when I'm no longer there. And that's why they respect their leaders. But right here, the problem that we are facing in the port industry, especially, let's say, maritime sector, is as a result of the fact that people see service in the sector as an opportunity for self-enrichment. And it's a Nigerian thing, because that sector is not the only one suffering from this malaise. It's a virus that is in us, but we have been able to sharpen it better than other countries in Africa, because we have the wealth to cushion the effects. What I'm saying is, I will tell you what has happened now, but I'm talking about how we come to be where we are. In the years back, people don't bother about maintenance. And this is not just something of yesterday, but it is not the idea that is the issue. It is the implementation, those who are put in charge. How do you build a Tinkan Island port from scratch and there is no rail connection, when all ports in the world today are serviced by train? That is the beginning of the first mistake we made. Then a power port that had been there with rail, how come we suddenly don't bother about servicing the rail? And now we are building on top of the rails. People don't plan. The volume of cargo coming to Nigeria has been on the increase. Even with all the economic somersault, it has always been on the increase. So the issue is, why didn't we plan? Now our issue is like somebody who had a wound, allowed it to be infected and turned gangrene, and you now want automatic cure. No, that leg won't heal immediately. It might even lead to your, to amputation, in order to remove certain things, in order for the other ones to be alive. That is the way we will have faced the issue of the port. But we didn't do so, and that's what we are paying for. It's only in the maritime sector I discovered that the stakeholders are never carried along. The stakeholders are never carried along.
Which is part of the problem?
It's not a major problem. All they do is to come out and dish out, we have agreed, we have decided that this is what must be done. And when you try it, it doesn't work. Because you didn't bring those who are operators, those who are part of the system, to come and look at it afresh from the beginning. How do we approach this? Why don't we carry along? I'm so surprised that apart from Shippers Council regularly, and in the beginning, before the MD of MPA shy away from all those things, and I know the reasons, regular dialogue with stakeholders is the reason why the man in Shippers Council is succeeding. It's not a magic. Even though he's a very steadfast person, I don't want to praise him, because praising somebody in Nigeria is like you are benefiting something from him. But I'm saying that that is one of the key tools he used. Dialogue. But some other head of the department believe that if you carry people to dialogue with them, like all this, the call-up system for vehicles and all that, why did it not work? Why did it not work? Instead of doing business, why did it not work? You can't order sanity into a chaos. It's not by order. It must be systemic change of the arrangement that is on place, which is making it not to work. That's why I say it.
Oh, okay, so...
And it becomes more expensive to fix. You get my point? Because some of those dilapidated infrastructural things that were not maintained will end up, some of them you have to collapse them and start all over. So
in your view, do you think this amputated leg, are we going to throw it away, or do you think there's any way we can fix it?
You throw away the bad ones now, and then you fix artificial for the person to be able to move on.
So there is hope for the system.
I would let you know. The concession was given for a period. It was supposed to be reviewed. I know terminal operators will tell you they have not gained enough for them to say they want to review us. For one reason or the other, people will come and say, we are going to review, we are not going to review. All those non-performing operators in the industry should be shown the way out. It's not a time for managing. Infractions of the concessionary agreement should not be waited for a man, no man. They have spoken to somebody upstairs, is telling you, no, there must be a system where people are punished for non-performance.
You mentioned the ease of doing business. Can you talk more on that ease of doing business? Do you think the government's ease of doing business is not
because
working?
It came in as order.
Okay.
The ease of doing business came in as order. So number of people must be in the port. We must do this, we must do that, but they are not looking at the practicability. It's the same government that sent in regulatory agencies and security agencies into the port to duplicate, no specialty, but to duplicate what everyone is duplicating. And you want ease of doing business? The custom goes for examination. And as soon as they finish, you expect that customs, on behalf of all others, will put in what they have seen in the system that all of us will be able to see, and then everything transparent, you carry your goods and go. No! And then you get somebody come say, no, I didn't witness that examination, for God's sake. I want to witness it. He does, another one comes and say, no, we are not invited. And so on and so forth. Is that ease of doing business? No, now. So, because it's only in this country that we have not taken customs as a lead agency. All over the world, custom is the lead agency who invites others, because the custom officer is supposed to be learned enough. I need to let you know that years back, all these other government parastatals, NDLEA, even the master that is talking about safety, and all of them, apart from MPA, were all departments within customs. They were collapsed during the military because somebody wants a fiefdom. NDLEA, like America, they have a different agency, a parastatal, fine. But the average custom officer should know when there is need for NDLEA's intervention. You get my point now? But we don't have lead agents. Everybody wants to do the work. And then finally the police will tell you any crime is crime. If they see you talk to an officer, oh, they must be discussing something. Therefore, bring your container to want to examine. That's not ease of doing business. There are so many things that roadblocks that are put in because people want money by all means.
I'm sure a lot of Nigerians will be interested in way forward or achieving this ease of doing business. So in your view, what are the bullet points that you want to see? You
need a lead agency. You need empowerment of an economic regulator, so that we need an independent platform to seek redress, which Shippers Council is beginning to do, or they've been trying to do, but there was no power for them to do that. I don't want to be overcharged for cargo and I don't know where to go. I don't want a custom officer to hold me responsible, to hold me hostage, maybe for ransom or for extortion. I don't have where to go. But do you know now that even now, Shippers Council cannot go and give order or directives to a custom officer? That's why all the regulatory agencies in the port, there is no clearing point for them.
You think it's a problem of synergy?
I'm coming. Each and every one belongs to different ministry. So it has to be accepted first that this platform, controlled by customs, because all ports are custom ports, controlled by custom, this is the platform where we will all operate.
Okay.
But there is suspicion. Oh, they have done something behind me, I'm not involved. It's always there. And it has always been there, and it will continue to be there. If our regulatory intervention, so I know this one may not go down well with some people, if our regulatory intervention is narrow like a funnel, where everybody pours it in, and what you are seeing down there is the end product, and we are able to now look at, why should a quarantine man say because there is a pallet, I should go and pay 20,000 to their office? If I pay the 20,000, does that change the pallet from infested to non-infested, or is it just to collect money? because that's where government contributes. All the regulatory agencies are now money-generating, revenue-generating agencies.
How, in your view, do we attain the regional trade hub status in this sector?
The same effect. Because nobody, you see, everything in life is competition, no, ma'am.
So the whole thing is in Africa, and not particularly with Nigeria.
The Nigerian factor is worse. Maybe we are hearing of development of ports. We are hearing of Ivory Coast doing expansion. We are hearing of Ghana doing expansion. Côte d'Ivoire is doing, the other is the Ivory Coast. Benin Republic, why are they expanding? Because we are the large markets. We depend on imports to survive. And they want to take part of what operation you are doing to get. Because right now, Nigeria, it is most expensive operational port in the whole of West African sub-region. Because of duplication of efforts. Because of payments that are non-receivable. Because of clandestine and deliberately distortions brought in by shipping companies in order to maximize profits. One simple one that anybody can think about should not happen in this country. You take a container, you take your goods away, within a week you have returned it. Now on the same trailer that took it there, you have offloaded, and that trailer cannot have access into the port, or the trailer don't have where to return the container to. The shipping company are using your trailer as storage because they don't have holding bay. For God's sake, you don't license them if they don't have holding bay. Only for you to hear that one big man somewhere is behind the company and everybody is ripping Nigeria off. It's an unfortunate thing. The alternative for MPA to say, okay, fine, we can't continue like this. Go and acquire land. We're not saying you should buy. Acquire it, clear the place, bring your container, drop it here. Shipping company, go and identify your container and carry from there. You must pay the people their deposit. Some people deposit money for container as much as $1 million, 2 million, and when you come back they say because you didn't return your container on time. Where am I returning it to? Nobody addresses that. And at the end of the day, they give you a balance of 100,000 for the deposit of 2 million. Eaten by demurrage. That is not your fault. And we don't have protection from the government. No, something is wrong with us now.
This is a fine place to end this beautiful chat. The problem of the maritime sector is lack of foresight and planning. Those are the words of Prince Olayiwola Shitu, immediate past national president of the Association of Nigerian Licensed Custom Agents. I must say many thanks for coming on Maritime Update.
I appreciate you, always. Thank you.
And that's our show this week. We hope you enjoyed it. If yes, please join us again same time next week. Thank you most kindly for being a part of this week's edition. Please remember to send your comments, complaints, and observations on our email or the number showing on your screen. This show promises to bring you yet another exciting package next week. For more details, you can also contact the Nigerian Shippers Council on our website or text the number on your screen. You can view this episode or any of our previous episodes on our YouTube channel, Maritime Update. When you visit, please subscribe for free and also click the notification button. A big thank you to my production crew who work behind the scene to bring us Maritime Update every week. I am Norma Obiaswalo. Until I come your way again next week, do have a fabulous weekend. Bye-bye.